Purity culture is back, baby, but this time it is being rebranded and embedded in more subtle ways than it was before, making it more powerful than it was before. Hey yo, it's Lil Shardy.
Who's your mommy?
Gone are the awkward teen abstinence campaigns of the early 2000s. Now, self-control is an aesthetic. Being someone's future wife isn't just a statement, it is a cultural trend. Why are you looking at us like that, sir? Thank you to God's strongest soldiers for relaying that message while a Morgan Wallen song plays in the background. Also, the irony of that girl wearing a crop top while she delivers that message is not lost on me. And I'm pretty sure that your future husband was out of the club buying a group of girls shots of tequila. So this mindset of being someone's future wife doesn't emerge in isolation. It's a product of a patriarchal conditioning, and it frames women's bodies as commodities of belonging to their future husband or being someone's daughter belonging to their father. What's striking is that this moral responsibility of being someone's future wife and staying in is never aimed at men. In fact, men are rarely asked to modify their behavior in anticipation for their future partner. In this way, purity culture disguises control as virtue, teaching women that respect is something that they must earn through self-denial, while a man's worth remains unquestioned. It's a one-sided morality that positions women's bodies as something to protect for someone else, rather than something that they own themselves. Gen Z is drinking less than other generations, going out less than other generations, and having less sex than other generations. And you could argue that a lot of why people are going out less is a direct response to the economy because people just can't afford it as much. And I do think that that is absolutely a facet of it. However, I don't think that's the only reason. I think it goes a bit deeper than that. A 2023 study by the Institute for Family Studies found that only 37% of Gen Z had had sex in the past week, compared to 55% of millennials and to 60% of Gen X at the same time. Gen X be We are literally getting sexually mogged by people in their 50s. By our parents. Our parents are more than us. And please let it be clear that I'm not advocating for going out and hooking up with a bunch of people, hookup culture in general, or having copious amounts of sex. I'm simply just observing cultural shifts in how we view modesty, sexual exploration, and going out in general. I grew up a military brat and I went to Texas A&M University, so I'm not a stranger to a lot of these conservative ideologies. In fact, if I were to go onto my Facebook right now and take a shot every time somebody I grew up with got engaged, married, and or pregnant on purpose, I would die. But I probably shouldn't cuss or drink because that would be emblematic of me leaving my feminine era.
These are 5 things that I did to go from hyper masculine to stepping into my feminine.
You're not feminine enough, so this is how you're gonna start being more feminine and soft in 2025.
This is how you get out of your masculine energy and into your feminine princess soft girl era. Be grown, classy, educated woman this year, okay?
Number 1, your language. Clean up your language. I'm talking your profanity.
I was trying to become more feminine and I would start adopting these habits. Limit the swearing and the slang from your vocabulary. You can really show that your vocabulary is just not as wide.
What the are you talking about? Ubiquitous, esoteric, pertinent, pervasive, etymology, facetious. You can actually have an expansive vernacular and cuss. Oh, sorry, I said I'm not in my feminine energy. How will I ever get a husband? How will I ever get a husband that I won't go out on Halloween for now?
You know those girls that always look clean and they never ever look like they're wearing too much makeup?
The rise of the clean girl aesthetic. Neutral makeup, minimal jewelry, slick-backed hair can be seen as a response to purity culture. And while I do think it can look aesthetically pleasing, I don't think it would exist without this cultural shift of purity. The clean girl aesthetic signals controlled, polished femininity that aligns with being respectable or desirable, which is a stark contrast from the 2000s Keshas that are glitter-filled and Avril Lavigne's with heavier makeup, which can also signal a cultural shift, highlighting how cultural expectations around women's bodies and sexualities have quietly shifted from celebratory chaos to curated restraint. On June 24th, 2022, when Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court, it wasn't just about abortion. It reopened the conversation that women's bodies are up for policing and state regulation.
Literally, if you just stop wearing clothing that emphasizes your this and that, and you try and be more demure, more modest.
A woman's looks is equivalent to a man's net worth.
Talk about why women should stop hooking up like men.
She is very gorgeous to me.
I am fucking slut shaming because apparently it's become cool now to dress like a hoe.
Why women shouldn't dress like men, part 2.
Talks of modesty and dressing more conservatively are on the rise, and we even see trends of more conservative and modest clothing at stores like Target, TJ Maxx, Kohl's, etc. Also, I want to be clear that there's nothing wrong if you prefer to dress modestly and if you prefer to be more covered up. It's about the why.
Why God calls women to dress modestly from a man's perspective.
Even wearing a crop top. Yeah. It's so crazy. Yeah. It's just not even a question anymore. It's like, I would literally never dress like that. No. Why would I want anyone to see me like that? Why would I ever want anybody to see more skin on me than they need to?
Oh my God, I'm shaking. I wore a crop top.
Can we talk about how more guys are attracted to women that dress modestly when they go out than women who wear slutty clothing?
And doesn't want a girl that's just going to be naked all the time and put herself out there available for every man to see.
A godly woman dresses to please herself. A godly woman dresses to please the Lord.
The idea of women wearing things as a performance for men has always been contradictory, because on one hand, you have women and men saying that women who dress immodestly and wear crop tops and wear spandex are dressing for men to sexualize them. But then on the other hand, they're saying that men want women to dress modestly. So if you dress modestly for men, that's actually appeasing the male gaze more than dressing with less clothing. It doesn't make sense. If you're dressing more modestly because you aim to attract a man or because you believe it makes you more virtuous, I really encourage you to dissect why it is in your brain that you think covering up more directly should give you more respect and others you from women who decide to show off their bodies more. The rhetoric of women having to dress modestly for a man also insinuates that everything a woman does is a direct response to a man's approval, and that's also just not true. Men often talk about wanting pure, innocent women and celebrate virginity, which is you love children.
Guys love innocence, whether they want to admit it or not.
She's a 6, but she's a virgin.
10.
I agree. 100% agree.
Do you want your wife to be a virgin?
I think, listen, in an ideal world, of course.
There are people who pay a lot of money for that information.
This one always makes me laugh, because if he's saying that women shouldn't have sex to remain pure, but men should be having sex, wouldn't that just leave him having sex with other men? Even though men talk a lot about wanting an innocent and pure partner, studies find that actually 89.5% of OnlyFans subscribers are married men themselves. So even though they're telling you that they want an innocent, pure woman, they will continue to lust after and jerk off to women who aren't so pure. We see this idea of preserving our feminine energy and being careful who we let into our bodies, where that's never aimed towards men. Men are never pressured or guilted into who they let sit on their dick, because it is a deeply misogynistic way of thinking.
I think it's weird that girls are out here letting guys come in their mouth and they don't know these guys. You're letting somebody put their sperm in.
People that still participate in hookup culture are genuinely people who have zero standards and they do not care about anything that their future partner is going to offer them. None. Like, those people have nothing for themselves.
And the thing is that purity culture is really easy to fall victim to as a woman. I grew up going to both Catholic and Protestant church. I like to refer to myself now as a recovering Catholic.
1 Timothy 2 verse 9 says, I want women to be modest in their appearance. They should wear decent and appropriate clothing and not draw attention.
But growing up, I remember feeling like I had to preserve my body count and remain pure, and that my respect was directly earned by how much I didn't let someone have sex with me, by how little I showcased my body, by how I wasn't like those other girls. It took me until fairly recently to truly understand that my worth is not at all measured by the amount of people I've had sex with, what I wear, and also to let go of any shame or anger that I felt towards a partner I was with and who they had previously been with. And while I am critical of the porn industry and OnlyFans industry and even hookup culture in general, you have to understand that there is a supply and demand. In fact, there is approximately 40 million men who have OnlyFans accounts. Women's bodies and women have always been sexualized and objectified. And so the rise of OnlyFans is women in a way taking their power back, knowing men are sexualizing and objectifying me anyways. I might as well profit off of it. And you can criticize where that comes from and the structures that created that all you want. But the fact of the matter is that there is supply and demand. Women like Bonnie Blue, someone who publicly slept with 1,000 men, has been heavily criticized while not acknowledging the fact that yes, she slept with 1,000 men, but 1,000 men slept with her. Why is the onus on her? Because again, supply and demand that never would have happened had the roles been reversed. And the fact that the onus is always on the woman and that she's the slut, but the men who slept with her knowing that she was having sex with 99 other men weren't. The rise of the podcast bros and red pill vernacular is not new, but it is really rising lately. The women branding themselves as trad wives, women rejecting feminism despite the fact that they don't realize the rejection of feminism is a direct result from having agency, but whatever.
Tell you, I love to cook and clean. Just don't tell the feminists. I love to do it, and I love to do it for a man.
My body, my choice. It's really not. It's God's choice at the end of the day. And we need to stand firm as women to say, I am standing with what the Bible says, not with what these feminists say.
All of this to say that there clearly is still a market and people listening to the idea that women need to remain pure and modest, and women need to be an asset for men. And I'm just spitballing, but maybe the radical act isn't self-restraint. Maybe it's autonomy and agency, and doing what you want to do without fear of judgment from other people, and understanding why you're making the decisions that you're making and they not be for other men, or other women that are making decisions for other men. Anytime a woman is sexualized or not sexualized, it is all on her, and not the people doing the sexualizing. Oh my god. In my masculine energy. Anyways. And most importantly, we should just stop giving a what these men say. Okay? And maybe that's one step closer to what real freedom truly is.